Hi, I'm Rob, my wife Billie Brown. We have been coming to Castleton for a little over a year. We were seeking a new church because our last church home had some doctrine changes that we just didn't feel like we could follow, so we searched out several and ended up here. We followed some family and friends here who invited us in, and it has just seemed like a really good fit for us.
We've really enjoyed it. Anthony and Melody they're close to us, they're family, and they invited us, and we decided to give it a try, and it was a little different. Growing up Baptist, we didn't know what Christian would look like. We'd never been to a church like this before, but we really enjoyed it. We loved the feel of it. We loved the friendliness of the people, and that is honestly something we hadn't really experienced in the church we were in.
It was during the quarantine, obviously, since we're still kind of in that, right? But it was with the Zoom calls with the pastor. We were studying Philippians, I believe, and it was just very good to stay grounded with the church family, to be able to connect that way. And while that was good and interesting during that, we'd also attended one with the pastor previous to that in person before all of this. And the benefit behind that especially is, again, getting grounded with your church family, meeting with them on a small basis, getting to know them in a more personal and intimate level, even more so than a Baptist, as she said, traditionally have a Wednesday night service and things like that. Well, it's still a large group service, whereas the small group, it's a more intimate surrounding, and you get to know the people much better.
When you're coming into a new atmosphere, sometimes it's a little intimidating to just feel like you can jump right into a group of women or a group of men that you really don't know. So in small groups, we got to put faces with names. We got to know them on a personal basis, which led into feeling more comfortable in the crowd, so to speak.
Again, as I'd mentioned, a small group means to me the camaraderie, the fellowship, expanding the knowledge on the topics that are being taught, getting the perspective from other believers, and just having an opportunity to open your mind to other possibilities and other interpretations that you may have missed.
I think when you grow up, you're streamlined in your religion sometimes, and you learn it from the perspective of your pastor and the people in your church. And sometimes when you go to new churches, new religions, you find different ways of seeing a verse. You've grown up seeing the same verse all of your life, but sometimes seeing it from a different perspective is really good. It kind of opens the Bible up a little bit more to you.
I'll touch this first.
I think that it's awesome to be a part of a small group. The last one that I was a part of was the women's group with Kelly Hibbler, and even though I really enjoy the small groups with all the adults, the men and the women, getting to know the couples and the people, there was something about just the fellowship with the women. I don't guess I have a good word for it, but it felt a little more emotional. We were able to talk on a different level, and I liked that. I liked the personal feel. I really enjoyed it. I was disappointed that I couldn't continue with it because once COVID was over, I had to go back to work, but I guess COVID's not over.
The obvious advice is probably to just do it, but pray about it, of course, and review the different options that are out there, because small groups are put together on different bases. Some of them are around a topic, a book, as we studied with our last one. Some of them are around a gender, as my wife was in her last one, and some of them are around an age group even. So find one that's comfortable for you, and definitely pray about it. But don't be scared to step a little bit outside of your comfort zone too, because that's where you get to know the people that you see the faces and don't know.
I think God wants us to get out of our comfort zone. I think the only way we can grow in Him is to get out of our comfort zone. The only way we can learn more about Him is to step out in faith.